In the previous lecture, we have discussed about the three basic relations, that is linear relation, parabolic relation, and cubic relation. Linear relation means y is directly related with x, and parabolic relation means y is directly related to x square, and cubic means y is directly related to x cube. इसकी एग्जांपल थी सर्कमफ्रेंस इज डायरेक्टली रिलेटेड टू रेडियस. इसकी एग्जांपल थी एरिया इज डायरेक्टली रिलेटेड टू रेडियस स्क्वायर, एंड इसकी एग्जांपल थी वॉल्यूम इज डायरेक्टली रिलेटेड टू रेडियस क्यूब. नाउ understand them graphically. If we draw the graph of linear relation, it will be like this. It will be parabolic and it will be cubic. The parabolic graph is like this, and the cubic graph is like this. Now, if x increases by 10%, suppose it is 10%, y will also increase by 10%. If x increases by 20%, y will also increase by 20%. That is the case with the linear relation. If x increases by 30%, y will also increase by 30%. Now, parabolic relation. Parabolic relation, if x increases by 10%, y will not increase by 10%, it will be 21%. And similarly with cubic, if x increases by 10%, y will not increase by 10%, because y has the cubical relation with the x. It increases by 33.1%. Here x increases by 10%, which implies that 1.1. Multiplication factor, here also multiplication factor will be 1.1. Here also multiplication factor will be 1.1. Now change in y will be y increases by 1.1 because it is directly related with x. Here y increases by 1.1 square because it is parabolically related with x. Here y increases by 1.1 cube. Therefore y increases by 10%. 1.1 square will be 1.21 and 1.1 cube will be 1.331. Here y increases by 21%. Here y increases by 33.1%. This was the basic relations: linear relation, parabolic relation, and the cubic relation. Today we discuss about the hyperbolic relation. Now hyperbolic relation. Before understanding the hyperbolic relation, we have to know what is hyperbola. The basic equation of hyperbola is y is equal to c upon x. This is the basic relation of hyperbola, that is y is inversely related with the x. In the graphical way, if we draw the graph of hyperbola, it will be like this. This is the graph of hyperbola, square hyperbola. Now this is x-axis and this is y-axis. Take 2 points x and x1, x2. The corresponding y ordinates will be y1 and y2. Look, if we decrease the value of x, the value of y will increase. y1, y2 becomes y1. And if we go from here to here, if value of x increases, here it is y1, here it is y2, the value of y decreases. Hence, if one quantity increases, then other quantity decreases. That is the behavior of the hyperbola. Since these are inversely related to each other, if one quantity increases, the another quantity will decrease. In another form, it can be written as y into x is equal to constant. That is, if one quantity increases, then other quantity has to decrease so that the product remains constant. If y increases, then x has to decrease, and if y decreases, then x has to increase so that the product of two remains constant. Here also product remains constant. That is the basic concept of the hyperbola. Now we will apply the concept of hyperbola in the percentage. Now these are the relations which resembles to the hyperbola. That is, the constant is equal to x into y. X and y are parameters and their product is constant. For example, distance is speed into time. The product of two speed and the time is constant and it is distance. If speed increases, then time has to decrease to cover the same distance. Now area is length into breadth. For constant area, if length increases, breadth has to decrease, and if length decreases, breadth has to increase. In the same way, expenditure is price into consumption. If expenditure has to be kept constant, if price increases, then consumption has to decrease. If price decreases, that consumption will be increased. And revenue is price into sales. For constant revenue, if price increases, sales has to decrease, and if price decreases, sales has to increase. These are the basic relations and are similar to the equations of hyperbola. This is called the xy concept. Xy is called constant. Now, in percentage, the questions are being asked on this concept. If x increases, here if x increases, then y has to decrease. If x decreases, then y has to increase so that the product remains constant. If x increases by r%, if the quantity x increases by r%, then y has to decrease by how much percentage? Then y has to decrease by r divided by 100 plus r percentage. That is, if x increases by r%, then y has to decrease by r divided by 100 plus r into 100%. And if x decreases by r%, then y has to increase by r divided by 100 minus r%. That is the basic concept of this type of questions. Again, look at the table. That is xy, x into y is constant. It is the basic equation of square hyperbola. Here the parameter x, here is parameter y. If parameter x has to increase by r%, then y has to decrease by r divided by 100 plus r%. If parameter x decreases by r%, then parameter y has to increase by r divided by 100 minus r%. You have to keep in mind that if you have to decrease, then it is 100 plus r. If you have to increase, then it is 100 minus r. Rest all is same. Another type of question asked is in the same concept, that if x is greater than y by r%. If x is greater than y by r%, then y is less than x by r divided by 100 plus r%. This is the same. And if x is greater than y by r%, then y is less than x by r divided by 100 plus r%. Since you have to decrease, therefore 100 plus r. If salary of a is greater than b by r%, ए की सैलरी बी से r% ज़्यादा है, then salary of b is less than a by r divided by 100 plus r%. These questions are directly asked in the examination. Now discuss the question on the same concept. Length of a rectangle increases by 10%. What is the value of the length of the rectangle? Length of a rectangle increases by 10%. What is the value of the length of the rectangle? Length of a rectangle increases by 10%. What is the value of the length of the rectangle? Length of a rectangle increases by 10%. What is the value of the length of the rectangle? Length of a rectangle increases by 10%. What is the value of the length of the rectangle? Length of a rectangle increases by 10%. What is the value of the length of the rectangle? Length of a rectangle increases by 10%. What is the value of the length of the rectangle? Length of a rectangle increases by 10%. What is the value of the length of the rectangle? Length of a rectangle increases by 10%. What is the value of the length of the rectangle? Length of a rectangle increases by 10%. What is the value of the length of the rectangle? Length of a rectangle increases by 10%. What is the value of the l what will be the percentage change in its radius so that the area remains constant. Here it is a rectangle, it is length and it is breadth. If length of rectangle increases by 10%, what is the percentage change in the breadth so that area remains constant? If area remains constant, so breadth will decrease by some percentage. By what percentage? First, area of rectangle is length into breadth. If length increases by 10%, increases by 10%, that is r percent is 10%, then breadth has to decreases by, for decrement it is r divided by 100 plus r into 100. This is the percentage by which breadth should decrease. Simplifying, we will get r is 10 divided by 100 plus 10 into 100%, that is 1000 divided by 110, that is 100 divided by 11, that is 1 divided by 11 into 100. 1 divided by 11 is, remember the 9/11 attack, so 1 divided by 11% is 9.09%. Therefore breadth should decrease by 9.09% so that the area will remain constant. Take another question. Salary of Amit is 30% more than Varun. Find the percentage by which the salary of Varun is less than Amit. अमित की सैलरी 30% ज़्यादा है वरुण से. हमें क्या बताना है कि वरुण की सैलरी कितनी कम है अमित से. यहाँ पे अमित सैलरी is 30% more than Varun. Therefore Varun's salary is less by r divided by, since it has to be decreased, it is 100 plus r into 100. इतनी परसेंटेज से कम सैलरी होगी वरुण की. इट मीन्स r is 30% divided by 100 plus 30 into 100, which implies 3000 divided by 130. It is 300 divided by 13. 300 divided by 13 is 23.07%. Therefore salary of Varun is 23.07% less than Amit's salary. Take another question of price and consumption. Here, if the price of petrol decreases by 25%, by what percentage can consumption be increased without affecting the expenditure? We know expenditure is price into consumption. If price decreases, consumption will increase. If price increases, consumption will decrease. Here the price of petrol decreases. Since price of petrol decreases, the consumption will increase. Price of petrol decreases by 25%. Consumption will increase by how much percent? Consumption increases by r divided by, since it has to be increased, it is minus r into 100. It will be 25 divided by 100 minus 25 into 100. It will be 2500 divided by 100 minus 25 will be 75, and it will be 25 ones are 25, 25 threes are 75, and 20. It will be 100 divided by 3 will be 33.33%. Hence the consumption will increase by 33.33%.